I am Sushmita, Assistant Professor, Faculty of Agriculture Science, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. I am going to deliver a lecture from a course Fundamentals of Entomology, topic Digestive System of Insect. Digestive system of insect. So in this lecture, I am going to deliver about a structure of alimentary canal, that is a full detailed digestive system structure and the modification in their enzyme groups and what are all the enzymes present in the digestive system and digestion and absorption of nutrients, the complete absorption process and how this digestion is happening in insect. So these are all the things I am included in this lecture and PowerPoint. So digestive system. So digestive system is actually a alimentary canal of insect. So it's a long muscular and tubular structure where it is extending from mouth to anus. So it is differentiated into three regions. So it is foregut, midgut and hindgut. So digestive system, it is an alimentary canal. It is will be look like a long muscular tubular structure. These muscular structure start from the mouth anteriorly and it posteriorly it end in anus. So these alimentary muscular canal, it is differentiated or divided into three main regions, that is foregut, midgut and hindgut. So here, in between the cuticle, these digestive system, that is alimentary canal, is present. So starting, it is from foregut. So foregut, it is also called as a stomatium. So also this foregut is ectodermal. Why it is ectodermal means their origin, their starting point is from the mouth part. So the mouth, it is an outside part, that is the ecto part. So starting from the mouth, the foregut is started, that is a digestive system is started. That's why it is ectodermal in origin. Next one, the hindgut, that is the last part or a posterior part of a digestive system. This is also ectodermal. Why? Because it is ended in anus. Anus, it is a posterior part of an insect. So this is ectodermal. And here the hindgut, it is also called as a proctodium. And then the middle part, it is called as a midgut. It is endodermal in origin. It is also called as a mesenteron. So foregut and hindgut are ectodermal. Midgut, it is endodermal. Foregut, it is also called as stomatium. Hindgut, it is also called as proctodium. Midgut, it is also called as a mesenteron. Next, foregut. So the first differentiated region in digestive system, it is foregut. So starting from the mouth, it ends in this part. So here up to this, it is foregut. So from this to this part is foregut. Next, from here to here, that means essential part of this alimentary canal. This region is called as midgut. And next, so from at the end of a midgut and up to the last point, these regions is hindgut. So first one is foregut and the central part it is midgut, and from here to up to the last posterior part anus, this is hindgut. Okay, so this is a three differentiated region of digestive system of insect or alimentary canal of insect. So next, structure of alimentary canal. That means what are all the parts or structure is present in digestive system. So in digestive system, next to the mouth, that means behind the mouth part, one important gland is there. That gland is called salivary gland. And then the part is called cibarium, where it is present next to the mouth or a preoral cavity. And then salivarium. So here the salivarium, it is also, we can remember, it is a starting point of a salivary gland. Okay, and then next it is pharynx. So pharynx, it is just a tube like or a junction or a connection part to the foregut, pharynx. So here it is Next to pharynx, this part is called as a esophagus in foregut, and next part it is crop. So it is a one of the biggest part in the digestive system. It is crop. So here it is. So this big reservoir is a crop, and then next these connection between the foregut and midgut. So I told from here to here it is foregut, and here it is starting point of the midgut. So the connection between the foregut and midgut, this connection is called as a pylorus. So it is also called as a pyloric valve. And next it is proventriculus and ventriculus. So before the proventriculus, that part is called as a, before ventriculus it is called as a proventriculus, and then gastric CK. So here these finger-like outgrowth. So here you can see the finger-like outgrowth. These finger-like growth are called gastric CK. So this, it is also can be called as a CK or hepatic CK or enteric CK. So this is starting point of a midgut. And next one is Malpighian tubules. So Malpighian tubule, it is an excretory system of an insect. So this is not a digestive system. It is present along with the digestive system parts. It is an excretory system or excretory. It is doing excretory role in insects. Next, coming to the after midgut, it is hindgut. So here these tubes is called ileum, and next to ileum it is rectum. At last, at the end, it is anus. So this is the structure or parts of digestive system. So starting it is salivary gland, and next Siberium, and then salivarium. Next, these tube is called pharynx, and then esophagus, and this large part in foregut it is called as a crop, and then these end of a midgut, and connection to the foregut and midgut it is pylorus, and then these finger like growth it is called as a gastric CK or hepatic CK or enteric CK, and in between of midgut it is called as a ventriculus, and again these tubes or a lines it is called as a Malpighian tubule, and then in hindgut the first it part is called ileum, it is also a tube canal part, and next one these sac like structure it is a rectum, and it is an anus. So these are all the structure or parts of a digestive system. So here one by one we will see what are all this part and how it is present and what is the role of this parts present in digestive system. So first region, foregut. So as I told, foregut it is ectodermal in origin, and it is anterior invagination of ectoderm. It is formed this first region, foregut. It's having the also another name called stomatium. The internal cuticular lining is present in foregut, and also I told in hindgut also this cuticular lining is present, but in midgut there is no cuticular lining is there. So in foregut, cuticular lining is present, and the first part of a foregut is mouth. Though it is an anterior morphology part, it is a starting point, the terminal mouth part, and which lead into the part called preoral cavity. Next to mouth, the digestive system starts in preoral cavity. So in between the epipharynx and hypopharynx, the first part I told it is Siberium. So that the preoral cavity in between the epipharynx and hypopharynx, these Siberium is present. And what about salivarium? The salivarium is present in between the hypopharynx and the salivary duct. The salivarium is present. So this is Siberium and salivarium. Next to salivarium, it is pharynx. So it is just present behind the mouth. It is actually a musculated organ of a foregut, which actually pushes the food into the esophagus. As I told, it is, you can remember it as a junction point or connection point. Their role here in digestive system is, it is just passing or pushing the food into the esophagus. And also remember, the salivary gland is present uh, behind or below this forehead. Okay. And then next, about pharynx, the important point, this pharynx is also present both in solid fetus and liquid fetus. Also you can say it as a sap fetus. So it is act as a passing junction in solid feeder. At the same time, it is acting as a sucking pump in sap feeders. So sucking pump means it is helping for liquid feeders like aphid or mealybug, which is actually sucking a juice or a sap from the plant or a host. So it is helping to suck the juice from the host. So it is also acting as a sucking pump in sap feeders. So next part, it is esophagus. So here it is. This is esophagus. So esophagus, it is a narrow tube. So it conduct or pass the food into the crop. Like pharynx, it is also passing the food into the crop. So next, it is about crop. I told it is the largest part or some a space part in digestive system. So crop, it is dilated distal part of esophagus, which is acting as a food reservoir. So next to esophagus, it is a distal part of esophagus. Here, this crop in foregut, it is acting as a food reservoir. That means it is receiving all the food that is eaten by the insect from mouth to preoral cavity, from preoral cavity to pharynx, from pharynx to esophagus, from esophagus to crop. So it is just acting as a food reservoir. Also in insect like bees, I give an example. In bee, the crop is called as a honey stomach, where it is store their nectar and conserve it as a honey. So honey, in this crop is called as a honey stomach, where the nectar conservation is occur. It conserve the nectar into the honey. So there the enzymes also involved to conservation process. Okay, wow. So here in this crop is also called as a honey stomach in honeybee insect. So next to crop. So up to this crop, the actual process of digestive system is not yet started. From proventriculus, that is next to crop, the part is called as a proventriculus or gizzard. The actual digestion process is started here. How it is started? The proventriculus, it's also called as a gizzard, which is a posterior part of the foregut, and it is also a musculated part. So where it is found in solid feeders, it is absent in fluid feeders or sap feeders. So why it is absent in fluid feeders? How it is uh, mechanized. So actually, this proventricle is present in foregut for cutting or grinding or crushing the food that is eaten by the insect. So normally the solid feeders like a cockroach, grasshoppers and all might be eaten some harder food particle. It may be not break down by their mouth part. That kind of food will be broken by this proventriculus or gizzard. So here the food flow from foregut to midgut. It is regulated by this part called proventriculus. Proventriculus, it is actually grinding, and then it is regulated through the cordial or esophageal wall. It can be also called as a pyloric wall. So before moving to the pyloric wall, so there are some modification in proventriculus. So the internal cuticle of a gizzard, it is variously modified as follows according to the insects. So in cockroach, it will be a teeth like gizzards will be there. So here the teeth like in cockroach to grind and to strain the foods. The food particle will be grind and strained by this gizzard, and then it will be a plate like a gizzard will be present in honeybee. Why? Because to separate the pollen grain from the nectar, it will be a plate like structure. And then the insects like a fleas, it will be look like a spine. So the spine is helpful to break the blood corpuscles. Okay, so this is the modified internal cuticle of a gizzard. According to their food or according to their food habit, it may be vary. So up to this, the midgut sorry, the foregut is over. Next, the food, next it is midgut. So in foregut, the food is received and it is stored and it is grind or crushed or filtered, and the crushed grind food is next passed to the next region of a digestive system, it is midgut. So coming to the midgut, it is endodermal in origin, where it is also called as a mesenteron. So here these part contain no cuticular lining. They don't have any cuticular lining. And then midgut, it is made up of three type of epithelial cell. What are all that epithelial cell? Actually, the epithelial cell are having an important role in digestive system, that only absorbing the ions, waters and soils. So here what are all the three epithelial cell? First one is secretory cell, it's the columnar cell. Globular cell, it is actually a aged secretory cell, it is called as a globular cell. And regenerative cell, which is used to replace a secretory cell. Okay, three cells. One is secretory cell, that is a columnar cells, and then globular cells, it's nothing but aged secretory cells only, is called as a globular cell. And regenerative cell, which is helps to replace the old secretory cell into new, it is replacing the secretory cell. So these are all the three types of cells which is present in midgut of digestive system. And what are all the structure, that is parts, the important structure present in midguts are as follows. The first one is heterotropic membrane. So here in this diagram you can see this thin line which is present in the center of a midgut. So here this line, it is actually called as a heterotropic membrane. It is not a cuticular lining, but it is a inner lining called heterotropic membrane. Next one is gastric cecum. So as I shown in that image, here you can see clearly this is a finger-like growth, a gastric CK or CK. Next one is pyloric wall. So where in this diagram it is not denoted, but you can see this end, the wall will be there. That is called as a pyloric wall. So it is a moving a foot from midgut to hindgut. So this is a connection. So connection between the hindgut and midgut, this pyloric wall is present. So here this is pyloric wall. So this region is a pyloric wall. And then filter chamber. So filter chamber, actually it is present behind the midgut and hindgut. So in between the midgut and hindgut, it will be present behind this digestive system. So that is a filter chamber. So first we start from heterotropic membrane. So heterotropic membrane, as I told, it is an internal lining of midgut. So it is secrete a epithelial cell. So it is actually secreting the epithelial cell. So why this heterotropic membrane is present? So here you can see the heterotropic membrane. Why it is present? It is present in solid feeders and absent in sap feeder. So why it is absent in sap feeders? So why it is absent means normally this layer is semi-permeable in nature. So these semi-permeable in nature, uh, it helps to digest juice or digestion product to easily lubricate, or it can easily facilitate the food movement. It is easing the movement of this digestive juice and digestion food products. So why it need to lubricate means sometimes the food particle may be harder, or might be they have some kind of spines or thorns. These may cause a damage to this midgut. So for protecting this midgut, it is don't have any inner cuticular lining. So for protecting this midgut layer, the semi-permeable layer is present, particularly for sap feeders. So it is actually envelop the food and protect the midgut epithelial cell against the harder food particle. So that is why it is absent in sap feeder. So sap feeder, actually they are feeding only liquid type of food. They don't cause any damage or harm to this midgut layer. That's why it is absent in sap feeder. So sap feeders means I'm saying about aphid, mealybug, and all the homopteran bugs. So this is about heterotropic membrane. So here you can see the microscopic image of heterotropic membrane. So this is this line. So here you can see the brown line. So like that here. This is a heterotropic membrane. Next is gastric CK. So here the starting point of a midgut, the gastric CK, it is also called as a enteric CK or hepatic CK. Remember, it is also called as enteric CK or hepatic CK. You can just remember a finger-like growth, which is found in anterior. Sometime in some insect, it will be present in the posterior end of the midgut. It will be present in midgut either in posterior or in the anterior. So here the structure increases the functional area of midgut. So not only it is increasing the functional area, at the same time it is also useful in storing or sheltering the symbiotic bacteria in insects. Why it need to store or the symbiotic bacteria? Actually, in digestion process, the microbes also helps. It is helping the insect to digest the food particle. So that is why this is an important part where it is storing the symbiotic bacteria. So this is about gastric CK structure. Next one is pyloric wall. So as I told, it is a wall midgut open into the hindgut through this pyloric wall which will regulate the food flow from midgut to hindgut. So it is just a passage. So in certain insects, so I am saying about some honeybee grubs and all, in immature stage, this insect midgut is not connected to hindgut. So till pupation, once it become an adult, this wall will connected to the hindgut. So example in honeybee grubs, the immature stage of insect, the midgut is not connected to hindgut till pupation. This is about pyloric wall. Next, it is filter chamber. So I told the filter chamber, it is a complex organ where it is present behind the hindgut or in behind the hindgut. It is just look like a sac. So here you can see this a black color sac. So these sac-like structure, it is a filter chamber. So what is the use of filter chamber in digestive system? So it is useful to short circuit the excess water found especially in sap feeders or liquid food eaters in like a homopteran insects. So the bugs normally suck the juice from the plant. So it will helpful to short circuit the excess water present in the insect body. So these process avoid the dilution of digestive enzymes and the concentrate food for efficient digestion. Sometimes during the digestion process, it is also dilute the enzymes also. It will used to avoid the dilution of enzymes present in digestive system and this also helps in osmoregulation and preventing the dilution of hemoglobin. So it is helpful in osmoregulation and is also helpful in avoiding the dilution of a digestive enzymes present in digestive system and the hemoglobin present in insects. So that is a structure and uses of filter chamber present behind the midgut and hindgut. So this is about midgut. So from through the pyloric wall, the digested food from the midgut, it is entering into the last region of insect called hindgut. So in up to foregut, it is just breaking the whole food product or filtering the digestion blood corpuscles or it is filtering. So after it filtering or crushing, it is the food particle is moved to the midgut. There in midgut, based upon the enzymes or microbes, it is digesting the food and the remaining digested food are being has been passed to the next part called hindgut. So hindgut, it is ectodermal in origin and it is produced by the posterior invagination of ectoderm. So here it is why it is ectoderm because their um, posterior part is anus and also here it is having the internal cuticular lining is there, so it is permeable to salt, ion, amino acids and water. The lining is very permeable to salt, ion, amino acids and water present in hindgut. So what is the function of this hindgut? So before function, what are all the parts in hindgut? So here you can see in image. So from this it is hindgut. So first part is ileum and then this long tube in between it is called as a column and last part as I told the sac like structure it is called as a rectum. Okay, so what is the function? So after the digested food passed from the midgut to hindgut, it will reabsorb the water or the salt and other useful substance from the digested food or the feces or urine matter. It will again reabsorb the some of excess water or salt or some useful amino acid or some other substance. So here the in larvae like scarambids and termites, these ileum will be a pouch-like structure. So here this ileum is just a tube structure. In insects, insect like a termite and larvae of scarabid, it will be a sac-like structure. So why it is sac-like structure means it is all it will used as a housing of symbionts, and also it is act as a fermentation chamber in termites. And coming to the rectum, so here in rectum, it is actually an important part. It is dehydrating the feces. How means in rectum they containing the rectal pad. In rectum they contain a rectal pad. It help in dehydration of a feces and it open out through the anus. That means the remaining fecal will be pushed out from the anus. So that is the remaining digested product, undigested product from the food, from the insect body. So this is about foregut, midgut and hindgut. So their structure and their function. That means structural function, how it is, what are all, how it is functioning and what are all the process for each and every structure of digestive system. Next about function of digestive system. What is the function and how insect is digesting their food? So just here you can, from here you can know this is a foregut, midgut and hindgut. So as I told, the foregut, it just store the food and initiate the digestion process from the gizzard or proventriculus. So how it is initiate? It just cut the food grain or crush the food grain and passing to the next part called midgut. So in midgut, the digestion process it start, and also during that function it will absorb the nutrients. In midgut, the digestion process, they start digesting the food particle and they absorb the nutrients, and then the remaining digested food, that means that undigested food has been passed to the foregut, sorry, hindgut. In hindgut, the water reabsorption and fecal formation is happening in this hindgut. So one by, so here the digestive system, where it is responsible for, first it will break down the large non-absorbable organic compound. So here the non-absorbable organic compound is nothing but the food that is eaten by the insect. Next, absorbing the small absorbable size molecule. After it break down the organic compound, from the breaked organic compound, it is absorbing the molecules. And then after it absorbed, the remaining undigested food, it will be defecate through the anus. That means it will discharge the fecal matter through the anus. So here these function of digestive system and the structure of digestive system may be vary with the diet and the type of metamorphosis. Diet means about their food habit. Either it may be a solid feeder. In solid feeder also some insects may feed on a fresh leaves or fresh twigs or a root. Some insect may feed on the small insects, and based upon their metamorphosis, means based upon their growth, these structure of digestive system may be vary. So up to this, the structure is over and their function is over. Next one about their physiology. Physiology means how it is functioning. So first the gut physiology. The primary function of a gut is to digest the ingested food. That means the ultimate function of a digestive system is to digest the food that is taken by the insect. That is a ingested food, and we have to absorb the metabolites. That means we have to absorb the nutrient from the food intake. So here this digestion process has been enhanced with the help of some enzymes produced from digestive glands. Digestive system not only having the structures, at the same time it is having some digestive glands and microbes. So microbes, it is held housed in specialized cell. So you know what are all the specialized cell? So that epithelial cell only is called as a specialized cell. Here for primary function, that is a digestion is happened by the some enzymes that is secreted or produced by the digestive glands, and some microbes is also helpful in digestion, which is housed in the special cells. First, we start from digestive glands. So, first gland, the important gland is salivary gland. So, salivary gland. Uh, so, in the first image, I have shown which is salivary gland. So, again, I will show the salivary gland. So, here you can see the salivary gland. So, here this is salivary gland, which is present behind the or below the digestive system. So this is an important gland in digestive system, salivary gland. So in salivary gland, normally in the name itself we can know it is producing the it is producing saliva. In cockroach and all, a labial gland will be there. That labial gland is act as a salivary gland, where the salivary duct it opened into salivarium, that is they are producing saliva. From the saliva, it is producing enzymes. So it is in cockroach, example. In caterpillar, it is called as a mandibular gland. In cockroach, it is called as a labial gland, act as a salivary gland. In a caterpillar, it is called as a mandibular gland. So mandibular glands are modified to secrete a saliva, where here these saliva it's producing where here the saliva is modified as a silk, so it producing the silk for making the cocoons or a pupate. During the pupa it is helping to make a cocoon, so that silk is produced from the saliva from the mandibular gland in caterpillar. So what is the function of this saliva? To it will moisten and dissolve the food. First it will dissolve the food and it will moisten it, and it is though it is moistened, it will easily lubricate the mouth part. It is lubricate the mouth part at the and also it is adding flavor to the gustatory receptor. So gustatory receptor is nothing but a chemoreceptor which is present in a neuron cells, where this gustatory receptor it actually detect the taste. So for detecting the taste it is adding a flavor. Okay, so here the saliva is also function to add a flavor to gustatory receptor. In cockroach the saliva contain the amylase. So amylase which is present in saliva of a cockroach to help for digestion of starch. So I told the enzymes are produced from the digestive glands. So these enzymes are help for digesting the food. That means break down the unabsorbable food or organic compound. So here the organic compound starch, it is break down or it is breaked by the amylase which is present in the saliva of cockroach. So like that in honeybee, the saliva they contain invertebrates. So his break it is invertebrate it substrate the sucrose digestion. It helps for digestion of sucrose organic compound. And then in jacid, the saliva contain lipase and protease for breaking lipid and protein digestion. And saliva of a jacid it also contains some toxin. It is not only contain enzyme, at the same time it is contain a toxin which produce a tissue necrosis, which produce necrosis and phytotoxemia in the tissue of a plant cells. So in a plant part it may be cause of phytotoxemia, that means uh, color change will be seen in the leaves or some parts of a plant. So that is caused because of the toxin substance present in saliva of jacid insect. And then in the next example in plant bug, in this insect the saliva contain pectinase which helps in stylet penetration and extract the and extra intestinal digestion. And in mosquito, saliva contain anticoagulant substance which prevent the blood clotting in while they penetrate their stylet into the skin of human or animal. So normally if you inject the human skin means the blood will come. So if we get injury means blood will come. For clotting that blood, these anticoagulant substances helpful, which is produced in the saliva of mosquito. And in gall producing insects like midges, saliva containing the IAA, idol acetic acids, and in disease transmitting insects, that is a vector insect, these saliva is actually act as a paveway for entry of pathogen. So it is acting, or it may carry a pathogen through their saliva and they may transmit. So in disease transmitting vector insect, the saliva is a way for entry of pathogen. So this is a salivary gland. So it is also called, it may be differentiate based upon the insect. Either it may be a mandibular gland or maybe a labial gland. So here in the salivary gland, you can see the salivary duct. So duct reservoir, and then this is actual salivary duct, and here it is a hypopharynx. So from the duct, the gland is there. From the gland, enzyme is produced. So these are all the enzyme produced from the saliva. Okay, that is from the salivary gland. The next one is hepatic CK or uh, hepatic CK and midgut epithelial cell. So hepatic CK is also called as a gastric CK or enteric CK. So you can remember that a finger-like outgrowth. So from that, and from also from the epithelial cell, it is also secreting some enzymes to helps to digest the juice or digest the food product. So it secrete most of our digestive juices. There are two types of cells that are involved in enzyme secretion. One is halocrine, another one is merocrine. So halocrine cells, it is actually epithelial cell which disintegrate into the process of enzyme secretion. It's actually disintegrating. And the merocrine cell, it is an enzyme secretion occurs without breaking the cell. Without breaking the cell, it is secreting their enzyme. So the enzyme secreted from the merocrine cell, it is actually breaking the or digesting the food without breaking the cells. So here I have given the list of enzymes and the substrate present based upon the insect group. First one is phytophagus larvae. The phytophagus, the general green eating larvae, it will basically have three type of enzyme. One is amylase, maltase, invertase. So what are all the substrates? Amylase means starch, maltase means maltose, invertase it is breaking a substrate sucrose. Omnivorous insect, protein, it is substrate is a protein enzyme, protease, it is substrate, lipase enzyme, substrate lipid, and in nectar feeders, they are having invertase, it is actually substrates sucrose, wood boring insect and termite, it is substrating cellulase and cellulose, and meat eating maggots. Meat eating maggots, the enzymes are collagens, it is substrating collagen and elastin, and bird lice, keratinase and keratin. So these are all the enzymes and their substrate. So this is about the digestion that is happened by the enzyme produced or secreted from the insect digestive gland. And also microbes is helpful in digestion. So in microbes, in the insect body, few cells were housing symbiotic microorganism. So in few cells means that epithelial cell, and also in gastric cecum it is housing the symbiotic bacteria. So the microorganisms are called as mycetocytes. So these mycetocytes are aggregate the cells. It is housing the mycetocytes. These mycetocytes aggregate to form organ called as a myceto. So in this organ, the flagellate protozoa will be there. These flagellate protozoa is normally present in cockroach and termite. So it produces a cellulase and it break down into cellulose. in digestion in termite and cockroach. Like that, in bacteria present in bacteria, this microbes it helps in wax digestion in wax moth. Digestion in digesting the wax in wax moth. Like that, in bed bug and in cockroach, it obtain the vitamin and amino acids through microbes. So by microbes, we can obtain or absorb the vitamins and amino acid from the food or the digestion juice. These microbes were transmit between the individual. So how this microbes is transmitting from transmitting to insect? So between the individual during their food exchange. So food exchange from means mouth to mouth feeding. So these kind of mouth to mouth feeding is called as a tropophylaxis. So tropophylaxis, and also through the egg. So it is called as a transovarial transmission. So through their food exchange or through their egg, these microbes are transmitting into the individual insects. These through the eggs, it is called as a transovarial transmission. This is happened in plant bugs and some other insects. So in insects like plant bug and in antlion grub, their digestion, that means a partial digestion of a food, it is occur in host body prior to food ingestion. Before the food is ingested or before the food is taken by the pre-oral cavity, it is partially digested. So these kind of digestion is called as a extra intestinal digestion. Extra intestinal digestion. In most of the insect, these digestion occur in midgut. Midgut, it's up in midgut. The a digestion is 80% it is completed. The remaining undigested food is moved to hindgut, and in hindgut, what is the process is happening means that is absorption. Okay, what it is absorbing? It is absorbing the water, it is absorbing the amino acids. So in insect, it absorbs the digested product through the cells of midgut. Next, it is moved to the hindgut. The water and the inorganic ions and dissolved nutrients are processed mainly through the walls. So mainly through the walls means they are outer structure. It is mainly through the wall of anterior region, which is including the gastric cache also. Through the gastric cache or through the wall, it is actually absorbing the water and the nutrients. So here you can see this is a heterotropic membrane. So heterotropic membrane, it is food is passing in the digesting food. The solutes, amino acids, waters and ions has been absorbed by the walls and the gastric cache. Here you can see this is absorbing through the walls of midgut and it is absorbing through the gastric cache. So the anterior region of midgut, it is a major region of absorption. So the food, it is eaten by the insect for a vitamin and the amino acid. It is absorbed from the walls of midgut and the gastric cache present in midgut. So that is why it is said the anterior region of midgut, it is a major region of absorption. What it is absorbing? It is absorbing water, inorganic ions and dissolved nutrients. And the simple sugar, amino acid and lipids and all, it is diffused down to hemolymph through the midgut lumen. So in the midgut lumen, in midgut lumen, the hemolymph, it is absorbing the remaining sugars, amino acid and lipids. So here the diffusion of simple sugar like a glucose, fructose and all, it is enhanced by the rapid conversion of the sugar to conversion of sugar into trehalose into hemolymph. So these process of converting the sugar to trehalose by the in hemolymph, these process is called as a facilitate diffusion. This process is called facilitate diffusion. So here, as I told, this is a heterotropic membrane, and from the wall of a midgut and gastric cache, the dissolved nutrients and water and vitamins has been absorbed, and remaining sugar and the amino acid has been absorbed by the lumen of a lumen down into the lumen of midgut, and it is down into the hemolymph. So this is absorption happen in mid-gut. So after the absorption of a nutrient, water, amino acid and simple sugar, these undigested food particle, it is moved to the pyloric wall to the hindgut. So in hindgut, the absorption of water and ion is again occurring rectum. Again, on the in from the fecal matters, the remaining excess water and ions has been again absorbed, or it has been it also can say as a reabsorption. In cockroach and all, the lipid absorption is occur through the crop. In the foregut itself, the lipid is absorbed. In termite and scarabid larvae, the absorption occur through only ileum only. So based upon the insect and or in different insect, this absorption is happening different part of their digestive structure. In solid feeders, the reabsorption of water from fecus it's occur only in rectum, and this fecal is expelled as a pellet. The remaining fecal, that means after reabsorption, this fecal is expelled as a pellet and it been pushed out or removed from the body through the anus. In sap feeders, normally the fecus will be like a liquid. These liquid fecus of a homopterans or any sap feeders, either it may be as hayfeed, mealybug or scale or psyllids, with the soluble sugars and amino acids present in the fecus is known as a honeydew. It is along with the fecus, the soluble sugars and amino acids will also come out. So here this is called as a honeydew substance secreted from the aphid and mealybug. These honeydew substance it's inviting or it is attracted by the ant for feeding. So this is a absorption of digested material. So where it is here it's a diagrammatic image where it is saying about movement of water and movement of inorganic ions, sugar and amino acids through the midgut wall and hindgut wall. So where you can see in the gastric CK, the water and organic ion has been absorbed and it is taken for the energy. And then like in midgut wall it is also taken, and then in again this absorption is taken, or also again means again this amino acids and the water is reabsorbed in rectum also. So I told this a sac like part, it is a rectum. Again this is reabsorbing the water or amino acids also, the movement is shown. And then this Malpighian tubules also helps in absorbing. So Malpighian tubules actually an excretion structure, excretory structure, and also through the ileum in some insects, and also through the heterotropic membrane. So this is the overall structure and the function of digestive system in insect. So basically in insect, the digestive system, it is differentiated into three parts: foregut, midgut, hindgut. So each gut is having different structure starting from preoral cavity, that is civarium, salivarium, pharynx, esophagus, crop. It is just uh, it is just carrying the ingested food or the food that is eaten by the insect, and then it is just breaking the food. It is just breaking the food and then the food is passed to the midgut. In midgut only the actual digestion process is starting, where they digest the food by by breaking down the non-absorbable organic compound by enzymes, by microbes. So after it break down the organic compound by the enzymes and microbes, these breakdown or compound has been absorbed by the wall of midgut and the gastric CK Malpighian tubule. The remaining undigested food has been passed to the through pyloric wall to the hindgut, and in the hindgut the ileum, colon and rectum is again reabsorbing the water is present in undigested food or organic compound or any sugars or amino acid, and the reabsorbed particle is converted into energy and it is given to the given as energy to the insect, and the remaining undigested food has been pushed out from the insect as a fecal matters or urine. So if it is a solid feeder, the remaining digested food will be excreted as a fecal, or if it is a liquid feeder, the digestion matter will be as a liquid. Okay, so thank you. So up to this lecture is finished. Thank you.